This is Morten. I have today the pleasure of talking to Greg from Ultimate Tech. And we are about to talk a little bit about the large format thing which you are working on. Is that true?
True.
Great. Hello and welcome, sir, on English.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
So, Greg, we have obviously here at Printing United been filming a lot of companies already, and obviously also a lot of large format thing. I mean, from a workflow automation and imposition perspective, how important a market is it for Ultimate?
It's very important. It's very important because I don't think that a lot of printing shops are really looking at how to automate and move things through with turnaround times and the dollar, how much it's going to cost them to produce that, how fast they can get out the door is highly important today, even more than it's ever been.
I remember, I think it was Printing United 2 years ago, you actually for the first time showed a direct integration to a large format printer, right? So now it's not just about having the software, it's also how they communicate, two-way communication with the printer, right?
That's true. We want to get feedback back. One of the things that we're now doing is be able to get that feedback on how much usage is coming and waste is off of that sheet. And so some of the newer things that are coming out, in-shape nesting, and it doesn't really matter where we're printing to or what the printer's equipment is. We print to multiple DFEs, all the DFEs, it really doesn't matter. And so cutting equipment, print equipment, doesn't matter to us.
Before the camera was turned on, you told me a little bit about your career, and it's quite fascinating because you have been in different segments of, let's say, on the software side of the industry. How is the development? Because if I should maybe be a little bit provocative, I would think that if you buy a large format printer, maybe you're a little bit too conservative to acknowledge that you need software on the side as well.
You absolutely do. And if you think about it, software being what? InDesign,
That should do it, right?
Acrobat, right. I mean, there's a lot of software out there that you have to use anyway. So why not automate that process with a software package like Ultimate has? We've been in business for a very long time. We've seen just about everything shape and shift throughout the industry, and I think we've reacted very well to those things throughout the time we've been here. So, and we continue to evolve. Our development team is outstanding. Our support team is outstanding. We really go to bat for our customers.
I would also say from the outside that your reputation in the market is outstanding. And I think that when people invest in new technology today, it needs to tick as many boxes as possible, because maybe of course software can be, I wouldn't say cheaper than hardware because it's more over time, but you need to be sure that you can utilize your hardware the best possible way, and therefore you have to make sure that you have a reliable partner, right?
Typically, like, your capital investment is your hardware, right? So what do you want that to do? You want that working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, if possible. Yeah. And the way to do that is automation. Again, having a piece of software, take those files and push them downstream to that equipment to keep it working. That creates a much better ROI on that equipment if it's running, all day, all night, all weekend.
I once spoke to a guy also in the software. He's not in the software business anymore, but not working in the industry anymore. But he said to me that if you look at the large format, sometimes the substrates are so expensive, so it almost pays for the software if you have the right nesting. Is that also something you still see, or?
Well, the thing that we do is with the wide format specifically, is we will set up a time frame on how long you want the software to evaluate the shape and where to put it on that sheet or that substrate. If it's cheaper substrate, you could have it do it very quickly because waste doesn't really matter that much. But when it's more expensive substrates, that's when you want to really dial it in and give the software a little bit more time to think about how to fully utilize that piece of material.
And when you give it time, does it often also surprises you how much ingenious ways it can be imposed in? Or?
It is amazing.
Yeah.
It is amazing to watch it do its thing. So, but yeah, it really does fit. You're running cheap substrate, expensive substrate. It just depends on what your workflow and what your shop is, pushing out the back door to your customer.
When you are were introduced to me by Julie, you were like the new kid on the block here with Ultimate, right? How long time have you been here?
Under a year.
Under a year?
Yep.
And how is it? Because I mean, you're moving from, you said you live in Chicago and
Yeah.
live and work with a company that I think seems to be very successful right now.
Yep.
It can't be too bad, yeah?
Well, the great thing was we were partners with Ultimate.
So you knew them, of course.
So we knew the team. I know the team.
Yeah.
Worked with them at trade shows, and very strong team, very good ethic. You know, and I know that they have a great product. You know, and so that was one of the reasons that we got together and started discussing what the possibilities for Greg was. So,
and here we are today, right?
That's
Media
right.
star and specialist with Ultimate Tech, right? That must be the title, right?
yeah. I think automation has been talked about a lot over 20 years or so, but I think it's really coming to a head now where, you're, again, pushing a lot of jobs through that need to get back out the door, and customers expect it. They expect you to get the job, in and out as fast as possible.
Now, if you should have like an ending statement of our interview here, and since we're here at Also Printing United, what should that be?
I would say automation, and automation.
Fabulous. Thank you.